So, there was a stage you reached, Ayushmann, where you had back-to-back, like a series of 6, 7, like, hits, right? And, I can't say you made a niche for yourself. It's a small word. I would say it's like you were a genre. You made a genre for yourself. That's fascinating and rare. So, firstly, I want to ask you, was that very flattering? And secondly, did you at some point feel there was a lot of onus on you to constantly deliver films in that genre? And, you became like the face of changing cinema. And it comes with a lot of pressure too.
I never thought like that. Probably it's a default setting. It's by default, I think, not by design purely. I just focus on one film at a time. That this film should be of a certain space and, should engage the audience in a certain way or maybe give some intrigue. And I know that there were back-to-back 7, 8 commercial successes. Right. All were unconventional. But I never thought that I'll be making a genre for myself, like it will be called an Ayushmann Khurrana genre. It's too much to think about. I just take one film at a time. I was doing my own thing. That's it.
Right, yeah. But you were the face of changing cinema. Were you like really proud of the change you brought about in our cinema with that? Because after, the Ayushmann wave happened, filmmakers realized that you don't always need tentpole films. You don't need large-scale budgets. You could have a star like Ayushmann and a great story and work on the content and deliver such great cinema.
I think this conspiracy theory is changing every film after pandemic. Like initially, people were thinking only big ticket films will work. Then they were thinking, no, now Kantara has also happened. And then Drishyam 2 happened. Then we're thinking only franchises will work after Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 and Drishyam 2. But I think if you go out there to make an engaging film which appeals to larger segment of audiences, I think you are home. So we're all in that self-discovery phase after pandemic. And I think if it's made within budget and released at a good time and space, I think it'll have its own share.
Yeah. So when you said you set your mind to break the mold, we've grown up on a certain kind of hero who looks a certain type, walks a certain way, speaks a certain way, right? You were nothing like that, and you broke the boundaries, and you are where you are today. But was there any fear of perception, because it was a huge perception to break, right?
Yeah, I think, again, I'll go back to my first answer where I had to just use my own space, and there was a certain void of that kind of a protagonist who was not larger than life, who was real, who was imperfect at the same time. And I made that route mine. So it's the timing. Yeah, I seized it maybe. So even moving forward, I'm not really obsessed with my own character. I'm just obsessed with the stories. As a whole, I may not be the main driver of the story. The characters around me are also very, very strong. Be it somebody like Jaideep Alav, an action hero, or Rajkumar Rao in Bareli Ki Barfi, Gajaraj Rao in Badhai Ho, Bhumi Pednekar in Dam Laga Ke Aisha, Tabu in Andhadhun, Neena Gupta also in Badhai Ho. So it's well-rounded, not just
about you.
Exactly. It's about the story. So I think stories excite me.
Right. But if you look back, you have so many memorable characters. Any one that you would like to revisit or relook at or rewrite if you had to? Or do it differently?
I don't think I can do anything differently. I have like no regrets or nothing. I just move on very quickly. I'm very detached as an actor, which is very important to be detached, because if you're doing 3 films a year and you're attached to your character, you just can't, it's too much of a baggage. I was shooting Andhadhun and Badhai Ho simultaneously.
Right.
2 different films, 2 different genres. A guy next door in Delhi and probably a warped musician in Pune. So I think there were 2 different characters, and it was not easy if you are taking that character home. So it's very important to be detached.
But is any one role that stands out where you've been really consumed by it?
I think Ayan Ranjan in Article 15. That's the only film which has a certain dark tonality out of all my films.
Right.
I think that was something new to me. I was introduced fresh to casteism, and that was something which was really affected me at a personal level. And I think that throughout the shoot of Article 15, I was not in my regular chirpy self,
right?
Because it was too much, and I think I'm glad I was introduced to that world and to that realm, and I'm glad it was also a first induction for the audiences, Hindi cinema goers, in a commercial space on casteism.
Right.
Then moving forward, of course, there'll be more representation, not in terms of just the films, but also the actors and the directors and technicians.
Right. I remember you telling me that in that film you were out of your skin. right? So when you do a film like that, which is not close to your core, does that make you more